There's probably a lot of stuff that you guys don't actually know about TF2 or that you won't know about TF2. Today, I wanted to try and talk to you guys about some things that you won't know about TF2. Now, I bet some of you guys already do know some of these things, since a lot of these things were suggested to me by you guys on my Discord and on Twitter, but a lot of the TF2 player base probably won't know about a lot of this stuff. So if you do know it, I'm sorry, but if you don't know it, hopefully you learned something new in this video. Really quickly, before we get into this video, I do just want to let you all know that I do have a Discord server, and I've had it for a very, very long time, but I never really advertise it. So if you want to have a chance to suggest stuff for these types of videos, or you just want a notification whenever I go live or post a video or something like that, or have conversations with anybody else in my community, then there is a link in the description to my Discord server, and you should just definitely join it. It's sick. At least I think it's sick. I don't know. And also, if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe as well. A whole bunch of you guys watching aren't actually subbed, so you should probably fix that. Now, without further ado, let's get on to the video. Okay, so the first one is all about this achievement called Marasmus Multidimensional TV, or like tuning Marasmus's Multidimensional TV. It was a pastime achievement that you had to do if you wanted to get the civilian grade Jack hat, which at the time was probably the coolest achievement hat to have come into the game. It probably still is one of the coolest achievement hats in the game. Now, this achievement itself was ridiculously complicated to get. You had to have a bunch of things lining up. You had to have just different combinations of classes on different teams, and they all had to be right, else nothing would work at all. And it was really then difficult and annoying to figure out what had even gone wrong. And then you also had to work with 8 other people, which is impossible. Now, while there were loads and loads of people who were making YouTube videos about how to get this achievement, a lot of people still didn't even know it existed or even knew how you get that Jack hat, and a lot of people just used Steam Achievement Manager for it. Definitely people used it. I remember sitting in a server for like an hour and a half with a bunch of other people trying to grab it, and eventually we managed it, but Jesus Christ, an hour and a half trying to just stand in positions and stuff like that and make it work. Oh, it was effort. This was also in 2016, so I'm not actually sure how many of you guys were playing back then, so you might have just completely missed this achievement. Okay, so moving on to the next thing you might not know about TF2 is a little bit about the way that maps are designed. Now, there is so much that goes into designing a TF2 map. Like, all of the boxes you will see placed around certain maps are there for a specific reason. The rocks on process are there for a reason. And once you start breaking down why maps were made the way they were, it brings a whole new appreciation to the whole map making community, who have to like relentlessly test their maps to make sure it's all balanced, and sometimes maps just are ridiculously hard to balance. I did originally start thinking a little bit more about how maps are designed after the War Hour made a CSGO video about that, and it made me think about how TF2 maps were designed and just how much went into it. So if you're a map maker or you've ever like helped make a map, massive props to you. I don't think I'd be able to do it. I want to make a map at some point in my life, but maybe when I get a bit more time I'll dive into that, because I just know it's going to be effort. The next thing is a little bit more obvious than the rest of them, and that is if you swap what side your view model is on, the rocket from the rocket launcher shoots from that side of the screen instead. In fact, I think some people don't even realize that you can even swap what side your view model is on. I only think you can do it while you're not in game or if you're dead, I believe, else I would have a bind that swaps what side my view models are on like you can in CS. And it is actually quite interesting, but it throws me off a little bit and it just looks quite weird. But I think one of the reasons it doesn't actually work in TF2 is because the rockets would have to change where they come from every time you click it. And I feel like there'd be certain locations on certain maps that could be abused. So it makes sense why Valve would leave that out of TF2 at least. But yeah, you can swap your view models and the rocket comes out at different sides. So I don't know how many of you guys would know that. Something I didn't even know, but somebody sent me on Twitter, is that the Spy used to have a fireproof suit, which was in the closed beta of TF2. I also realized that this point is kind of cheating in this video, since it's a closed beta thing, like no actual TF2 player really is going to know that. But just imagine how different the Spy would play now if, using that, he just didn't set on fire, or he had a bunch of fire resistance from wearing this type of item. Apparently it was a secondary slot, so on Spy, I have no idea what that replaces. Would it be the revolver, the sapper, the disguise kit? It wouldn't be the knife, I know that much, but yeah, I always get confused with the Spy's like items and where they're placed. But yeah, a fireproof suit. That would have been really interesting. Probably overpowered, but interesting nonetheless. And the final thing that you probably won't know about TF2 is standing on top of a dispenser actually gives you double the metal. Now, it doesn't actually just double the amount of metal the dispenser gives you, it just drains it twice as fast. Now, I thought the person who told me this on Twitter was lying to me, and I asked my Discord and people seemed to say it was a thing, so apparently a fair few people know about this one, but maybe you're one of the people who just don't, like I didn't before today, which, yeah, my mind is blown a little bit there. So apparently just standing on top of a dispenser for some reason drains it twice as fast, so you get double the metal in half the time, which, yeah, that's just insane. It's kind of weird how those things are just in the game, and there's probably a whole bunch of things that are in the game that people just don't know about. If you knew this, comment down below. I'd love to hear if you guys have just learned this, or if this is something you knew from a while ago. But anyway, that is going to do it for the video, guys. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure you leave the video a like and also subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'd actually really appreciate that. Also, make sure you join the Discord server. You can check out my Patreon as well and all of that good stuff in the description. There's just so many things you can click on. It's great. Once again, I hope you all enjoyed the video and I will see you all next time. Goodbye.